Oh, that's
Don't know how I did it before, and I made it full screen, and I don't know how I did it. I can't move the camera.
yeah.
I don't know what I did before. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Keep shaking the camera.
Are you recording?
Yeah, I'm recording, but I was trying to make this bigger.
That's not working.
Don't worry about it. I can still see. As long as I can see. Yeah, not really.
Feel free to, if you need to leave, you come out, go out the back, except when the teams are done, got their plaques. All of you move out, be quiet if you can, and take pictures with Stephanie. And then you can either come back in the backside or you can go watch. They have a live stream. There's 2 rooms over here. And you can start eating if you want. The rest of us will just be a little late to party. All right. So while we're waiting for Ron, nice meeting you. Oh, so when he comes back, because it's gone, it's kind of warm.
That's
But if he has the capsules on.
my bad.
So feel free to phone back or leave it off.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, takes out these lights so you can see the screen better. Is that okay?
Yes. Please. I would.
Oh, here it is.
And I saw all you plastic people. I gotta grab your jacket. That's why I'm late. Sorry. We're starting without. How you doing? Welcome. Yeah, my name is Ron. On behalf of the faculty here at FIA, we're very glad to see you. You're being extremely supportive by coming down and being here to cheer your student on. I want to make sure everybody's ready to go with what's about to happen. Okay. So I need you to have take your hands and put them up like this. Shake them like that. Okay. All right. Now clap them together. So there's going to be a lot of that. So just it's a lot. Right? So just get ready with it. But hey, it's all earned, right? Your student has worked extremely hard for everything that you're gonna see. So they deserve that applause, which there will be many. So with our first team, this is a game called Starbird, or sometimes pronounced Starbird, for rather obvious reasons. This is Alex Daspit who will be presenting, so let's welcome Alex.
Hi guys, my name is Alex Daspit. I am the lead of Spunky Studios and we work on Starboard. Yeah, absolutely. Start by saying thank you to all of my cohort 20. It's not just my team, everyone, because everyone had an input on all of the things we did throughout the year. You guys are like family. You guys, we went through thick and thin together, and I'm so thankful to be a part of the amazing cohort 20. So give it up for cohort 20, guys. All my spunkies, if my spunkies would just stand up, please. This amazing and beautiful team made everything possible. I am just one person who is good at organizing some people and keeping morale slightly higher. So these guys are the ones who really made the magic happen, and I am so thankful for my team. Thank you guys. The final status update of Starboard. So a lot of you guys probably are wondering, like, what did we do? What do we do creating games and all of that? So this is a very simple like demonstration, kind of like where we started from and what our final product was. So for art, you know, we started with a lot of concept art, trying to figure out exactly who our characters were, what the game was going to feel like, making sure we matched the style that we wanted. And then throughout the process, we do higher polys of modeling until we have a final product here. So these are some of the assets that my amazing artist made. Here's some more. So that was Killian Cade, and he's the main character of our game. And these are the antagonists of the game. You'll see the grunt a lot in videos and stuff that we show. And this is our main antagonist of the crew, John Bass, and the final products that you can see here. Also, animation. So our team was lucky enough to use the mocap studio here on campus, and it is a great experience. We had the amazing Tori helping us out with animations, and she just was a master at the mocap studio. Our sole animator on our team, she did a lot of work. So yeah, mocap studio, and as you can see here, like kind of the process of what each step goes through in order to actually get something into Engine, into the game. So this is our early animation stuff. Now we have like our level designers work, our early environments. And this was kind of just like feeling around with the gameplay space, trying to figure out exactly what we wanted to do. My amazing level designers came up with these like test environments to see how we felt about each area. And we really got a feel for the environment that we wanted to. And finally, our mechanics. So a game can't be possible without programming, right? They're pretty much the unsung heroes of development in general, just because they're behind the scenes, but when they do their job wrong, it's very obvious. And I'm so glad that my programmers are amazing. And they really knock it out of the park. So let's go ahead and show the trailer.
You think you have what it takes to face the great Captain Jean Bass? Then who else have skill to face his treacherous crew? Or maybe who knows who might will do anything to get his hands on it. Do you have what it takes to be a pirate?
It was always a goal of ours to release it on Steam, and we just released today. We coincided with today to make sure that we got it to brag about today. So yeah, make sure you give all of your students, especially the Spunky crew, a big pat on the back and a round of applause for the amazing work they did on Saturday. With that, we'll start the Plaque ceremony. What are these? These are 3D printed gauntlets. All right, so starting off with Kyle Barrows. Wait, Jacob Brady, my art lady here. Super dedicated, and I love him to death. My next, Renzo Colorado. Shaylee Caldwell, 3D artist. Roy Gillis, my animator. The other Alex Issa. 3D artist Haley Krupman. Well, Jack Levy. Programming Peter Lynn. Level design Ian Montella Cruz. My amazing design lead, Christopher Santo. Programmer, Mark Sadrak. Pretty artist, Tristan Spear. Yeah. You got to come in. Okay. Level designer, Daniel Velasco. Tech designer, Darren Walsh. My amazing tech artist who couldn't be here with us today, but Dayu Wei. Level designer, Drew Godov. Finally, 3D artist, Dylan Yan. This is my team at Starboard. Give it a round of applause for them.
Big picture. Down a little bit out there. Wood. I appreciate it. Okay.
Great. So we'll take just 2 minutes of a break here while Yegi sets up. I want to make sure that you're aware of the ringleader of all of these capstone projects. That's Rick. Oh, see, yeah, you can have mine. So this is Rick Hall. He's been leading the capstone projects forever at FIA, ever since we began. And it's a challenging job because he not only has to help manage the projects, but also manage the faculty, and we have our own concerns as well. And so it's a big class, and everyone's in it. And so he does a great job of helping the students to achieve the best games that they possibly can. So give Rick a hand. All right, you all set, Yegi? Oh, no, you need another minute. I got, whoa.
Here you go.
Okay, I got it. Okay, it's not gonna be that. So if you're not aware, there's a big commencement, right? So if you're coming to that, make sure that you realize that the procession is at 8:30, and apparently the picture is at 7:30. Right?
7:30 in front of the mural that you see up across the bubble right there. Stepping will be there, we'll have a lot of fun, all right? But then you're gonna go over, good thing the master students get to go first in, but you do have to stand in line a little bit longer than, this will be the last guy in. When you hear the bagpipes and you see Ron coming in, we're ready to go.
Yeah, so we'll be there supporting you all and congratulating you in person in that way as well. Okay, you all set, Yegi? Yeah. Great. So Yegi has the hardest last name to pronounce, but I've got this. Okay. This is overgrown with Yegi Shatini.
So I'm Yegi Shatini. I was the project lead on Overgrown Studios. We made Caesura. And again, it's kind of surreal being here. It feels like just yesterday we were giving our final presentation. And I was kind of putting this PowerPoint together. And I'm like, oh my gosh, time has gone by. It's been an amazing time with an amazing team. We had a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and probably like the best 8 months of my life, honestly. And, you know, through it, even from the beginning, getting to our new cohort space, early meetings, you know, November, December, we had no idea what we were in for. But, you know, we were listening to alumni, listening to faculty, just sticking with it, and then realizing as time went on just how much there was to learn for ourselves as individual developers, but also as a team and learning from each other. And of course, you know, we came upon the idea of making Caesura our third-person action adventure game. And getting to this point was, you know, not the easiest thing. Many days were filled with this and long nights, long days. But honestly, these were kind of some of the most rewarding experiences, and getting to work with these people for so long. You know, starting with very early iteration of what we thought our mechanic was be, and at the time it was like, no, it's not a shooter, trust me, it's not a shooter. But then we evolved into kind of doubling down and figuring out what our game really was, where we turned out to be Lyra, who were healing the environment just through this performance and through our music. So it was really cool, just honestly, just seeing the evolution of it, seeing our designers and the entire team work on trying to find what's actually working with our game and what we're intending. So everything was great, and we're like, yay, we did it. It was all great, and we figured it out. And that's really the biggest thing, you know, in this whole process, all the challenges we faced, and just crossing them off one by one, realizing that, you know, there's always a solution to whatever problem we faced, and figuring out what that solution wasn't always the easiest thing, but it was the most fun thing. So, you know, seeing this team just work together naturally, like there were many points in this project they could have all just jumped ship and be like, no, we don't want to do this anymore. This sucks. We hate it. We hate you, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, like I barely had to do much of this. They just started working together. And from my perspective, just seeing that evolve naturally, it was just super amazing. Just seeing people go out of their way. I used to be a public school teacher, and we had to pull teeth to get people to actually do group work. And and just seeing them want to do this and want to evolve and get better at what they do was awesome. So this is just some of the work they ended up doing, watching everything evolve from just initial sketches to white boxes to actually starting to clutter the environment and making it look beautiful. You know, you get to that point where things start coming together and feeling natural, and you start seeing the product you're making. And to me, that's kind of the best thing about game development. Just seeing all these pieces come to place, even when some of the pieces were unused sketches, and this poor little guy up here never quite made it, but we'll get there one day. He'll find his home. You know, some early sketches that maybe we weren't sure where they're going to go, but as they evolved over time, to our art style guides and all those different works, we kind of ended up getting to a lot of things that looked quite impressive for the amount of time some of these artists spent on it, for the time some of the level designers spent on it, programmers and tech designers actually getting things implemented and working. And of course, we like to have fun in time. You know, these were some of my favorite nights as well, just being around people, not worrying about what we're working on, what due dates tomorrow, just being around each other and having fun. Again, that was kind of the best part of all of this, being around these amazing people. So again, from the bottom of my heart, it's been an amazing experience. FIA in general was life-changing. And just being on this team, I honestly could not have imagined a better team to work on, full of people that I loved wholeheartedly, and they all did, you know, 110% when they really didn't have to, and seeing them put all this work and effort in has been great. So thank you again from Overgrown Studios. It's been a pleasure. And if my team wants to stand up and get acknowledged, please. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Number one, my design lead, I mentioned this in the presentation at the end. This project could not have happened without him, so I'm very glad your name is first, Michael Diaz. Level designer, one of the ones that worked on our fungi level specifically, Plaque. The man behind all of the enemies, healed and corrupted, the AI master himself, Ben Cohen. Our DD and narrative designer, and honestly, her probably most impressive thing was tolerating sitting next to me since August of last year through all of FIA, Sandy Ford. One of our gameplay programmers getting a lot of level mechanics working and debugging working, FJ Hagan. Our tech designer in charge of all of the UI, and my backup man, the amount of messages I sent him to fix fires and cleaning things up and camera work and just everything, mamas. We had a bunch of level design work on our project, and the man kind of spearheading that, working it, making it all come together and be coherent, Quinn Lee. Wonderful lighting artist. He made everything shine. Get it? Bryce Lush. Another one of our gameplay programmers. Again, amazing work getting UI functionality and general abilities working. Nil. Another one of our level designers making our mountain level, Austin Mashad. One of our two very talented environmental artists, tons of assets in this game, making this world look beautiful, Anupama. Our art lead and animator and graphic designer and cinematics and everything, Amani Selvin. Other environmental artists making the world look beautiful, Faith Singleton. Our programming lead, which is an understatement because he's a tech artist and graphic designer and all this extra work, Austin Smith. Our other animator who worked triple time, it feels like at times, just covering where needed to be covered, Paige Thorson. The creator of Lyra herself and her instrument, and just did an amazing job on our main character, Besta Unlu. And our fourth level designer, making our village level, did amazing work and a lot of technical work in the background, Matthew Whittington. Our tech artist responsible for giving everything bones, and we had a lot of characters and they made it work out. I don't know how, it was amazing. Cal. And our third tech artist did a lot of work with the aura itself, getting the world reacting how we wanted it to. How you woo. And finally, our last character artist who modeled all the creatures in the environment, both healed and corrupted, Sunny Zhang. Love you guys.
Well, that's it for Sandra. Well, Instagram, I don't care what you say.
Can I get a picture? All right.
All right. Okay, we have two more games to show you. We have Riley Scott coming up right now. So Riley is the lead of a project team. The game is called Phantasmagoria. So if you don't have a lot of context for these kind of games, because you don't necessarily see a lot of student projects, I encourage you to maybe see some other student projects at some other institutions, and I think you'll find that these are very impressive. Some of you are looking at these games feeling like, hey, yeah, that's a game you might actually buy, right? And that's because our goal, we try so hard with our students, is to make sure that the games are as truly professional as possible. There's no better way to become a professional than to start acting that way once you walk in the door. And I love that our students rise to that challenge, and it shows in the work that they produce, which we're always proud of. And our games absolutely often do get released, and then people are able to play those games, which is quite an achievement for a student project, to be able to make something that the world should see. So it's always nice to see that growth in our student projects. Want to use my two? Cool. So this game is creepy. just to let you know. And I remember when we started on this project, making something genuinely scary is actually really hard, especially in computer graphics. It's often easy to tell that something is kind of fake, right, or animated and so forth. And so to make it genuinely spooky requires a lot of polish and craft and setting of the mood and the tone and being very sophisticated in your design. And so I think that will speak for itself in the game. So please join me in welcoming Riley Scott and fantastic work.
I am Riley Scott, project lead for Needlepoint Productions, and this is our game Phantasmagory. I'm going to show some of the behind the scenes since I've already kind of introduced the whole game. So this is going to show kind of what went into it with just how we were able to make it possible. So first of all, our amazing team, we wouldn't have been able to make the game without our whole team. Of course, we have our visit to the Dr. Phillips Center and our dress up day. We like to do a lot of fun things throughout the team just to keep things lively. In fact, our very first meeting was a murder mystery where I pretended to die and I had blood all over myself. I was laying dead in the room and then everyone came in and that was their first introduction to me. So that was right off the bat, a really great way to get things started. So the breakdown for our game, of course, 9 months of production. That includes brainstorming, design, development, and overall production. Our game is free on Steam right now, which included we had to do some marketing and we had to make sure that everything was set to go on Steam when we wanted it to. So that's also part of our process. So this is kind of some of the process for making the environment of our game. On the bottom there is some concept art we used, and then the top is some draft artwork based on that to kind of set the mood for our game. And Kelu Rushing did a lot of the 2D art for our game, which is fantastic. So this is another example of that using real world pictures. We were able to kind of trace over some of that, make some original concepts to kind of get the right feel for the environment of our game. We also drafted up some screenshots of what it might look like in the game to really establish that atmosphere, since atmosphere is like the most important thing about the game for us. So this is the final drafts of our areas that we ended up with. Very cool diversity in like lighting and settings that we used for our overall theater. And of course, starting the level process, it begins with white boxing. We actually had a very interesting method of making our levels. You can see in the top right corner, we kind of blocked out our levels as a group, and we left notes and talked about it along the way, drew over top of it, and that's kind of how we were able to set up our scenes to be kind of cinematic. And then these are some very early sketches and some more concept art for some of our characters in our game. These are some puppets and like one of our villains, and they've come a long way since these, but that kind of shows the beginning of the process. These are some very early blockouts for some of our characters. If you've seen them now, you know they're very different from how they originally looked, especially Jean-Pierre, the puppet guy. But that's part of the process as well for creating models. You want to get a blockout, you want to get a good feel for it. And of course with Viviette, these are all of her stages of development, all the way from early concepts to her final model. She's definitely kept the porcelain blue theme, but she's become one of our most standout characters, and this is by Willow Rachels. And then our puppet master, very simple concept with hands, but it turned into this amazing artwork by Jessica Blass, this 3D model, and then more 2D artwork by Cohort. Jean-Pierre, the puppet guy you saw earlier, his concept art all the way to his model by Willow and Jesse. And then some concept art to show the background of our spider character. This is some of the sketches by Kelu. And then the model by Willow, which ended up extremely detailed. It's one of my favorite models in the game. It's really, really cool. And then Eve, the daughter that appears at the end of our game. These are some concepts for a lot of different designs we were brainstorming with. And then her final model also by Willow. And so before I get into the videos, after we got through development, of course, we had to market our game. So these are some examples of how we chose to market our game on TikTok, which made it kind of blow up online. So this shows some of our behind the scenes. So thank you to Maya, my sister, for helping make all of these for us. I think there's another one. One more.
She wasn't family.
So some of our marketing videos like that led us to become pretty popular on Steam. So our final game, this is our final poster by Kelu, really amazing art, and our trailer, which is our final result of all of that hard work. Game was put on Steam, we actually have hit almost 8,000 downloads. This is the numbers as of today. Our game has been downloaded in over 121 total countries. And we have 166 positive reviews on Steam as of now. And this is sort of the breakdown of the continents and general areas that our game's been downloaded. So it has reached a pretty big crowd, and I am so thankful for all of the work from our team to make this possible. The results of our hard work was really, really rewarding to see, especially with people live streaming on Twitch and seeing playthroughs on YouTube. It was really, really amazing. So this is a little compilation, our final video, of people on YouTube kind of playing through the game and reacting.
The environment, the levels are so good. I love this. This might be one of my new favorite games I've played.
Por que eu tô me lembrando de Little Nightmares agora? Será que é o estilo da câmera ou o visual dessa fase?
And that thing is completely horrifying. Oh, so gnarly. This is something that would definitely show up in my notes.
Are you going to be evil? Can he stab you in the face? Oh, he can. Wait, bold first move. Attempt to stab Jean-Pierre with your needle when he's first moving. Oh my god, loving the achievements.
What are the blue thing? Aha! Yes! Get away from Jean-Pierre! See you later! Ha ha!
My father's here. Don't worry. He's okay.
Some of the people that have played it. Plaque to everyone. For how to do that. All right, first up, our lead artist, Noah Bags. One of our 3D modelers, Jessica Black. One of our main programmers, Jordan Diaz. Another 3D artist, Justin Diaz. Our design lead, Ryan Ehrlich. Our lighting and technical artist, Bryce Lush. Another gameplay programmer, Marissa Manley. Level designer, Gao Yang Mi. Level designer, Margaret Nielsen. Programmer, Karan Prasad. 2D and 3D artist, Willow Rachels. Our main animator, only animator, and 2D artist, Helen Resching. 3D modeler, Megan Soden. Programmer, Eric Wing. Development director, Thomas Wing. Designer, Brandon Wolf. Programmer, Jason Yee. Programmer, Yeyu. Jeffrey Jean. Thank you so much, everyone. Everyone would like to do a theater bow or curtsy, feel free. Yay.
Presentation from Aaron Sorrells. Aaron, are you within earshots, my friend? Pardon? Oh. Okay.
Very good.
Okay, so something you should know about this last game, Chroma, one of the hardest things to do on any kind of student project is to spend a long enough time in development to play test your game with folks that have never seen it before, get their feedback, which is usually pretty harsh in the beginning, respond to that, make changes, put out another iteration. That doesn't quite work still, and you get more feedback and you make another change or two, and then you finally get it to a place where people actually like it and want to play it. It's very difficult. And this game has been one of the best as a capstone game in creating an experience that people actually want to be able to play and can enjoy. So that's being as difficult as that is to do, I think you can appreciate the accomplishment that this Chroma team was able to achieve. It's a very heavily action-based game, so there's a lot of fun excitement along the way. And it even features there's a spoiler that I'm not gonna spoil. I almost said it, but I didn't. So you get ready. There's a fun surprise in this for you. So after this final game presentation is complete, note that we have all kinds of food right here on the other side of this wall. These two big rooms, our motion capture studio and our sound stage. They're ready to go with lots of tables for you to be able to eat and dine together and celebrate your student. Okay, all set, Aaron? Perfect. Yeah, put a little light on that. Cool. This is Aaron Sorrells with Chroma.
Hi, everyone. My name is Aaron Sorrell, and I'm the project lead on Dragonfly Games for Chroma. I spent a lot of nights in here, like rehearsing my presentations, like literally scripted word by word. But this one, I'm really just like off the cuff, and I'm nervous, so it's okay. Yeah, I want to start it with, we all pay like a really big cost to go to fire, whether it's like time or tuition. It's a big deal to take the time out of your life. And I just wanted to make it count. And that's why I made Dragonfly Games. So if your kid or your loved one was on my team, they were picked with one purpose. It was to make a really good video game. Something that they could share, that they could show, with no hesitations, no buts, no excuses about it being a student game or whatever. Like that did not apply here. We just wanted to make something great. And I mean, we tried really hard. I can't say if we got there, but I think we at least got close. Yeah, we made Chroma. It's a roguelike arena shooter. And we made this game, like this type of game, not because it was like super innovative or creative, or we thought we were breaking any boundaries or boxes of video games. We made it because we knew we could make it good. We all kind of knew this type of game, and we knew how to polish it and really execute, and that's what mattered. We didn't want any student game moments, is our big saying. And we tried our ass off. I think I put a lot of them through hell, but I'm really proud of the product. And our product is on Steam. I'm really proud that August 1st, we launched Chroma to Steam for free. You can go play it. There's a lot of achievements to get. It's a hard game, it's fair warning. But it's on there for the world to play, for potential lawyers to see. And yeah, no hesitations, no excuses. That's our game. Yeah, I want to keep it short and sweet. You'll see a collage of kind of our work in progress stuff from pre-production all the way up until we're working on our last cutscenes playing here. And I'm going to call everyone up while this plays, if it'll play. Okay. Okay, I want to start with my leads, so if you guys can stand up. Finally, Max Wolf. I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, but I want to say something for everybody. Max was fucking Excel wizard, and did a lot of the thankless work of balancing this game and making sure that our whole economy was synced. My art lead and former roommate, Ted Agrigenis. Ted made our final boss. I was about to cut that thing. So he stayed up all night making a design that was not only amazing, looked really cool, but it's also like in scope, and he convinced me to make it. And I'm really glad that he did, because it's a really cool part of our game. And I think it kind of puts the finishing touch on it. And
I can't thank him enough for that one specific day where he stayed up. Thank you. All right, my tech lead, Nick Cancio. Nick is just the GOAT, that's all I have to say. Nick works incredibly hard, amazing work ethic, and I appreciate that so much about anybody, but especially Nick. I can't, there's no words for how much work you put into this game. I thought there were gonna be thousands of bugs like going into our beta or whatever, but there actually wasn't. Like, we didn't deal with that many bugs, and I think it was because this guy's just, so next I want to call up the designers. You all stand up. I see them. Are you already all standing? I need glasses. Okay, I'm gonna start my best friend Kyle Hand. Kyle's a bit of a game feel guy. And, I think our game feels really good. It's all his fault. So, and he kept me alive. Okay, next is Yang Chen. Yang is our technical UI designer. Made a lot of cool, flashy stuff, put a lot of funny moments into the game too. Like every day, it felt like Yang had a new crazy idea. So, thank you. Next, Lindsay Mazurowski. Upgrades and like designing your own loadout, and Lindsay made all of those upgrades, and they're all super cool. One of my favorite parts of the game. That works spectacular. Okay, next is Mike Harris. Mike is another guy who kept me alive, quite literally. I don't think I would have survived without the nights just shooting shit with Mike. And he's a brilliant level designer. All right, yes. Does anybody know if you has here?
Not here.
Okay.
No, that's name.
Yeah. Yu Hao Teo, fantastic level designer. Another guy who would just come up with crazy ideas and pitch them, and they would just work. So that was his specialty. All right. My artists can stand up. All right, let's start with Eric Wiley. Did so much. I mean, he made all of our enemies from concept to super polished 3D models, and made our logo, all of our UI in game, just super talented. All right, next is Amir Bora. Amir was our character artist. He made Nadia the main character. He also made Rick. Rick is in our game. You might have seen it. He's our project management capstone game design professor. He's got a lot of titles. Yeah, we put him in the game, and Amir was responsible. I don't know who that was, but Amir made it a reality. All right, next is Kirsten Butch. Was our prop artist. One time we were in a meeting, and I explicitly told her, you do not need to finish this giant asset by the presentation, which was like 4 days away. She maybe had like 20 hours of work left on it. And she said, no, I'm going to finish it. So, yeah, I can't appreciate that. All right, next is Libby Bonaventura. Libby's VFX were the special sauce to make this game just so punchy and amazing, and like we have so much spectacle, and it's all thanks to her. All right, next is Aniket Rajneesh. Cat's a bit of a mad scientist who made our shader that goes on top of our whole game. It could have ruined everything, but it gives it its own style and it's just perfect. And he fixed so many problems that just come up. And yeah, he's a crazy person, but he's also just the smartest person in this room, probably. I'm sorry, everyone. All right, next is Gary Carrasco. Gary has so much style in his animations. He likes to make flips. Eventually, I had to ban making flips. So this man, but yeah, the game would not look the same without it, not move the same. Crazy stuff. All right, next is Nate Benetatos. Our other animator made a lot of our character animations with so much work into our final cutscene, so much character in Nadia's face. Had to work through a lot of technical issues too with that final cutscene, but worked through all with a smile, maybe a fake one. Get off the end. All right, that's all the artists, right? Yeah. Okay, next are programmers. Chandra Moli, Serena Boston. Chandra did a lot of our AI work, our robots, making that army, as hard to beat as possible. Sometimes a little too difficult, but just an amazing guy to work with. Always cracking jokes and always making people cry. One of my favorite characters in this place. All right. Next is Adam. I forgot. Adam, right now. Adam did a lot of the thankless work on our UI, our systems. That stuff doesn't get enough attention. Don't see a lot of it, but the game just wouldn't work without it. So I can't thank you enough because, it doesn't get seen enough. And I really appreciate that. All right, is John Bass here? No? John is another goat. Just an amazing work ethic. Just so many problems got fixed by John. He also caused a number of problems. Whenever he would ship a bug, he would fix 10 of them. So I'm kind of fair. And just put so many hours into the game. And I just love working with the guy. And I also want to call out Yagi Chatini. He doesn't get a plaque. Doesn't seem fair, but he put so much work into this game, made the sound what it is, came in after 2 months and redefined what Chroma sounded like. So I want to thank him. And then I want to thank Baya and specifically Rick Hall, our faculty advisor. I spent a lot of hours in his office, frankly, just bitching. But he put up with it and he got through it. It's taught so much. So I think that's it. That is it. He's really good at speaking, so no pressure.
That's a lot of pressure. I am nervous, but I came prepared with a script, so plus one for me here. Before I begin, I don't want to, this is not me trying to steal anybody's thunder or take away from the absolutely profound and amazing work that everybody did in this program, because like all of you have been saying, I am exceptionally proud of all of you, and I would have given absolutely anything to be here had I first discovered this place. But with that preface, here we are. Well, first off, this is to primarily my capstone team. However, most of Plaque is here, and it relates to all of you. Here we are. After many late nights, industry reviews, late submissions, per force shortcomings, unreal crashes, Maya hardships, and all other discipline-related analogies I can't think of. What was once "we're getting there" is now "we're finally here." To say that we're the best fucking thing since sliced bread doesn't really explain how I feel. I walked into this building in August of last year, not knowing or expecting a thing about how my future would turn out, or how my feelings, emotions, and perspective of life could completely and utterly change. This is coming from me, a person who is steadfast in their beliefs and virtues, and also after signing away their life for 5 years to Uncle Sam, to be coupled with the most bizarre, unique, outrageous, and outlandish group of individuals I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. To that decree, I award all of you incredible commendation and gratification. Your talent, determination, tenacity, and skill, professionalism, and grit have instilled so many lessons and values into me, and with the unwavering bravado that we all shared since day one, this was truly the rite of passage that has shaped me into a better person than I am today. Capstone was easily the highlight of my time here at FIA. The late nights, the delirious bullshitting, and insensible conversations, all the way to the arguments about ridiculous and minor issues that we were all facing, were everything I needed to get through this year. With that said, most of you may not have appreciated the way I did things, or how I approached certain topics, or beliefs that the team had. But I stand before you all today, thanking and honoring you for allowing me to express myself, and to put it simply, put up with my shit for Capstone. However, through all of those moments, I was able to find my place and find common ground with all of you. This is a true blessing to me, since I've considered myself to always be the black sheep of most cadres that I've been a part of. The fact of the matter is, you accepted me for who I was, and that's no easy task. Ask my dad. So for that, I thank you once again. This gratitude I have for you all is only made stronger because in June, a life-changing tragedy turned everything I knew and believed upside down. In many instances after that, I was convinced that I lost my way, forgot who I was, and even considered giving up my dream of completing this program. Life was harrowing, dark, and unforgiving as I navigated the loss of my mother and watched the torch that guided my father and I fade into darkness. That torch, though it almost disappeared, was relit by each and every one of you, offering your life's energy and spirit into its illuminating and fiery ember that helped me regain my composure and my strength to keep fighting and persevere. To think now that I almost gave all of this up is preposterous. As I now bask in the reality of standing here at the finish line in overwhelming success and glory alongside my best friends, I cannot begin to express my gratitude and love enough for you all to truly understand how I feel about you. My mom had a saying, life can turn on a dime. But even though my life may have almost turned for the worst, you all managed to save it. So for that, I'm indebted to each and every one of you, and I love you more than I can express. So thank you.
All right, pictures down good. Everybody want to take pictures? Okay, pictures outside for all the rest of us. Again, thank you for letting us have your still in for the last 16 months. We're gonna got a couple more hours before it's due tomorrow morning. Dinner, drinks, what's going on? Everybody in the water. Let me still rock.
That's like my favorite one.